Welcome to Paranormal News on the ParaX Radio Network. Paranormal News is produced by Genesis Creations Entertainment. I'm your host, Bonnie Vent. Paranormal News is sponsored by the new ebook, Is My House Haunted? A Practical Guide. Have you ever asked yourself the question, is my house haunted? Looking for a do-it-yourself way to find the answers? This ebook walks you through all the basics. There are also forms that you can fill out to log the activity and your experiences. For more information, please go to www.sdparanormal.com and look for Is My House Haunted? A Practical Guide. Our first story comes from redorbit.com. Last month, astronauts on board the International Space Station witnessed a beautiful display of noctilucent or night-shining clouds. The station was located about 340 kilometers over western Mongolia on July 22nd when the crew snapped a picture. Atmospheric scientist Gary Thomas of the University of Colorado has seen thousands of noctilucent cloud photos, and he ranks this one among the best. It's lovely, he says. And it shows just how high these clouds really are at the very edge of space. He estimates the electric blue band was 83 kilometers above Earth's surface, higher than 99.999% of our planet's atmosphere. The sky at that altitude is space black. It is in the realm of meteors, high-energy auroras, and decaying satellites. What are these clouds doing there? That's what we're trying to find out, says Thomas. NASA is investigating. The AIM satellite, launched in April 2007, is now in polar orbit, where it can monitor the size, shape, and icy makeup of the NLCs. The mission is still in its early stages, but already some things have been learned. Meanwhile, it's a beautiful mystery. Just ask anyone at the edge of space. Our next story comes from WSPA.com. Is Asheville High School haunted? You saw the video of the shadow creeping around the halls captured by a school surveillance camera. The school district said it couldn't explain what it was, and a paranormal expert said this one was impossible to hoax. However, another paranormal expert has come forward to say he can solve the mystery. Joe Wright is a PSI. That's Paranormal Scene Investigator. He says for more than 20 years he has been investigating paranormal activity, and most of the time images like the one in the video captured by the camera at Asheville High School can be explained. You're never 100% sure, but through my experiences with other anomalies, it's a bug, says Wright. What about the shadow cast on the floor? When you get the bug close to the camera, the area between the head and the body is going to appear detached because it's so much smaller in area. Wright says the fisheye camera lens also plays a role. The optics from the lens itself is going to allow an object to be distorted somewhat too. It's going to stretch it out. Like they say on the CBS show CSI, Wright says the evidence doesn't lie. Whether we prove it or disprove it, we enjoy the type that lead to the final conclusion, he says. And in this case closed, it's a bug. Our final story comes from TVSquad.com. CBS Ghost Whisperer is no stranger to major changes in its status quo. They wrapped up the first season by having Jennifer Love Hewitt's Melinda Gordon lose her best friend Andrea, only to have to deal with her spirit to launch the second season. It made for an emotionally powerful episode and a tragedy that drove Melinda into that new year. Michael Ocello, who is generally pretty spot on with his rumors, dropped a pretty big bombshell for some possible happenings early on in this upcoming season. The rumors are that Melinda will be losing another someone close to her. She might just become a widow. That's right, her faithful and loyal husband Jim, played by David Conrad, may be the next major character to die. This is a major change to the status quo. Jim has been Melinda's rock throughout all the craziness she's had to endure, and with Jay Moore's Professor Payne also taking a sabbatical to try his luck at his own show, Melinda's looking to have to tread those murky waters all alone. I would imagine that Jim would be a reoccurring ghost, and I could even see him refusing to go into the light because he insists on staying with Melinda. I'm not sure how long such a situation could be milked, but it could make for some interesting television. In fact, the possibilities story-wise for such a move are pretty great, but to lose Conrad and Moore at the same time pretty much leaves Mannheim's Delia as the only support structure Melinda has. For more information on these stories, please go to www.sdparanormal.com and the Paranormal News feed page. Don't forget, sign up for a free subscription to Paranormal News. Thanks for joining us today on Paranormal News. If you'd like to sponsor or advertise on Paranormal News, please send us an email at paraxnews@aol.com. You can listen to Paranormal News on the ParaX radio network at www.para-x.com. Please check out their other fine shows and hosts, or join us at paranormalnews.mypodcast.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Bonnie Vent.